Good afternoon, world. It is moments past noon here in Waxahachie, Texas, deep in the heart of the Lone Star State. Oh my gosh. Today is July 22nd, the day after my Irish twin brother's birthday. It's episode number 78 of Grit and Good News. We are broadcasting live as we always do from our palatial, and I just keep liking to call it palatial. We think it's kind of cozy
Yeah.
studio here in downtown Waxahachie in the shadows of the historic Ellis County Courthouse. Life doesn't get much better. We got our man Sam at the board capably. I'm your co-host Jeff. Our main man Scott is to my side, and Scott, it's all
Yes.
yours, brother.
Thank you, man. We do palatial in our obviously you can tell that Texas palatial is different than a lot of people's palatial.
Everything's relative.
Yeah, but we gotta add we got like over there by that blue sign, we got some open space, Sammy. We gotta put some I got a great shot of Rocky and Apollo running on the beach in a race that my wife loves, but she's not. We hadn't put it up on the wall, so maybe I'll bring that in here. Anyway, thanks for being here. It is Tuesday. It's warm outside. It's both figuratively and literally in the city. It's rather
Hot
warm.
time summer in the
Yeah.
city.
And lots going on in our world. Jeff and I love to talk about what's going on in this world, and we like to talk about it from a simple, practical viewpoint. We don't try to get too fancy or too intellectual. I don't have any problem not being intellectual. So we stick to the pragmatism and
Although we
practicality.
do tackle some hardy
We
matters.
do. We have some today, but thank you for being here. We really do appreciate it. Never take for granted those who are watching. We realize that most of you watching are watching this later this evening or tomorrow or the next day, and uh, that it doesn't matter to us when you watch it. We appreciate it. And certainly those of you that watch it live, you can weigh in if you want by posting and commenting. So we're going to start with it's our 78th show. Do you have any numbers for
I got
78?
some good numbers. Yeah,
Yeah.
in the in National Football League, we got J.J. Watt. We had Jamal Charles, running back from the Chiefs. Anthony Munoz, the big offensive
Yeah, big
lineman.
dude.
Uh,
Bengals.
Bengals, and with a lot of linemen. Remember Bruce Smith? He was a
Yeah, I was up
legend.
there when I lived there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
And Art Shell,
Yep.
Jackie Slater, Bobby Bell. Remember him
Yeah.
with the Was he with the Rams? We
Oh,
had Deacon
the
Jones
Chiefs.
for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I can't remember, but yeah.
Major League Baseball. Currently, we got Clayton Kershaw and Mike Trout.
Yeah, see,
Those are big names.
I think those are getting numbers from somewhere. Because
At one time, they played in them.
maybe, yeah, because Clayton Kershaw is number 22.
I mean, this came up just automatically. So I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Jacob DeGrom
Yeah, see,
with
he's
the Rangers.
Rangers, and it's got to be when they something.
Jose Altuve.
He's 27.
See,
Yeah, so we're gonna put Sammy on it
yeah.
to figure out what that source is saying, because those are numbers that when they like one of them was said a running back. I don't know any running back that's ever worn number
No,
70.
well, no, we got rules against that. Well, let's ask you, Sam. Let me ask you this. I know you got a lot on your plate. You want to take that? You want to take that over from me completely?
Yeah, that'd be
You,
good.
Yeah, I
But I
will.
want to know what this
okay.
source is too, that's telling us that these players had number 78
Yeah, because I looked at J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt wore 9 in high school.
and 99.
One time he wore 82 in college, and then switched to 99 for the rest of his
Yeah, that
career.
source is I'm intrigued by it because the source is throwing out stuff that
Well, I got multiple different ones. I check just
yeah,
generally who wore 78, and then I go to NFL and NBA
yeah,
and a. Let's go to NFL. Remember we talked about PK Subban the other day?
yep,
In his early days, he was at Montreal. We had
yeah,
him at 76, and my source
yeah,
today said 78, and I did a little digging. Well, it was in Montreal that he was at 76.
yeah.
Okay. In the association, as they like to call it in hoops, Kevin Durant.
See, he's number 35, always has been
Okay.
in the NBA.
And who's your big guy? The WEMB.
Wembenyama.
Yeah.
He's number one.
Okay.
How would Wimben
And
Wembanyama be?
James Harden.
Yeah, see,
James Harden's 13.
Okay.
yeah.
I am completely retiring from that.
No,
And that's
now we got to be on the hunt to find this source, what this source is telling you.
Wembenyama's 21.
Yeah. Okay.
okay.
No. Oh,
Years
21
old.
years old.
Years
Yeah.
old.
Okay.
Speaking of that,
Thursday, it's yours.
speaking
I
of that,
wash my hands.
guess who you said your friend's birthday was yesterday? right? A friend's birthday or
My
today?
brother,
Your brother,
My Irish twin brother.
your
Yes,
Irish twin brother. What does
Mark.
Irish twin mean?
2 children born
Yeah,
of the same woman,
on the same
within 12 months.
that. Okay, got
It's
it.
not calendar year, it's within a 12-month period.
Chuck, we're
Got
gonna
it.
have a
You
conversation.
right. You preach it, Chuck.
Chuck, mm-mm.
Sammy has no clue about Magic
I
Johnson.
don't need to.
Listen to me. Tell you something. And
We're not calling these best, we're
let me
just taking famous people.
let me tell you something. If the Los Angeles Lakers of Magic Johnson, James Worthy, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Byron Scott, uh, Kurt Rambis,
Oh,
Hurt
Kurt
Rambus.
Rambis played you any year you pick the team from the Warriors, it would be a blowout.
With
Imagine
the Kevin Durant Warriors?
it'd be even
Let's not
worse.
get into this. Let's
we
not
got
do it.
more important things to
All
talk
right,
about
yeah.
than
So
I'm
hypothetical
gonna
hoops
so
games.
today is
start
the
throwing stuff.
eve of Sammy's 21st birthday. I can't believe it. I just cannot believe it. So tomorrow Sammy will be 21 years of age. Are
Can I
you ready,
take you out
Sam?
for a drink tomorrow night?
Yes.
He doesn't need to go drink. He asked me today, he said, Dad, can I get something to drink? I'm like, why do you want to do that? Is it a rite of passage? It's not really a rite of
It's not a
passage. Plus, you
sin.
won't even like it. I guarantee you won't even like it.
Well, I'm not. What do you? I'm not gonna go just take a shot at tequila.
No.
What are you going to drink?
A seltzer or something.
Seltzer?
Yeah.
You
Try
you
Alka-Seltzer. You'll really
you
like
wanna
it.
should we meet at College Street at 5? College Street Pub at 5?
Oh, Lord.
gosh.
Oh, my gosh. I
We'll
hope
get
it's not.
back to that. We'll get
All
back
right,
to that.
so we'll have more to say about that on Thursday. Nick Saban, the floating ridiculous rumor out there is that Nick Saban is going to go back into coaching. Now, look, as you said earlier in our during our prep little session over there, that anything's possible, anything it can happen. It could happen, but he's not going to go pro. Why would he put himself through that misery? He doesn't want to go out as a bad coach, and that's what he was in the pros. I assume he would be now. Just doesn't transcend his style of coaching. Doesn't transcend. One of the reasons the main reason why he left Bama is because the NCAA is becoming more like a pro league with agents gone wild, NIL money, kids negotiating. He didn't want any of that. So I think it's a bunch of hogwash. Plus, there's no schools open, no teams that are hiring right now. Uh,
Bill Belichick, all he could get was 6 and 7 South Carolina to coach at.
North Carolina,
North
yeah,
Carolina.
I just don't see it happening. So we'll put that aside. The Open results. I always look for every golf tournament, particularly the majors. I want there to be a close. I want it to go down to number 72 hole, either tied or somebody needs a birdie or somebody needs this or whatever, and let it happen. But when
Too bad, so sad.
yeah, so
Yeah.
when Tiger came along, remember he won the Masters by 12 strokes in 1997 or 9, something like
Remember
that.
when Secretariat won the
Yeah,
Derby by 31?
yeah, 31.
Or was that the
Well, they
Belmont? One of
no,
those.
that was the Kentucky
It
Derby.
was the Derby, yeah.
But so Scottie Scheffler put that to bed on, going into the fourth round on Sunday. It was pretty much a done deal.
I tell you something that wore me out early was hearing people complain about this doesn't seem like an open. There's no sideways wind and it's not chilly. And, what kind of open is this? And I'm thinking, it reminds me of when I go up to Minnesota in the winter. And if it's not harsh enough, how they complain about it.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I guess it affects your outdoor skating, your skiing, and your ice fishing. I mean, it ruins your winter sports that you've developed as a coping mechanism for
right.
getting through winter. But in the case of the Scottish or the British, the Open,
Yeah,
let me tell you what, there's not a player there that wishes that it was miserable and that
right.
he played through it and persevered. And for anybody to complain about that
Oh, I thought it
is
was beautiful.
foolhardy.
I
It
loved
was
it. Matter of fact,
wonderful.
I saw I went to the weather reports like I usually do for the majors days in advance to see what the weather is looking like, and it projected there to be really on Thursday, 100% chance of rain and brutal weather, but it really was. It rained on Thursday, but it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it was beautiful for that
So
part of the country that this time of the year. But Scottie Scheffler, I think, is the is already a great golfer, and he has the family, the background, the ethics, and all that to really stay the course. He's not going to go off the
yeah.
rails. It doesn't seem. I saw a stat the other day that said there are four golfers in the history of golf in this world who have exceeded $90 million in winnings just on the golf course. No endorsements, none of that
Mhm.
stuff. Just winnings on the golf course. Four of them: Tiger, Phil, uh, Scottie, and Rory. Those four have exceeded $90 million.
Mhm.
Um, and really, when you look at, I would say the most amazing of those is probably, well, Tiger and Phil, because they played at a time when the purses weren't that. I mean, they were 20 years ago, 25 years ago, a purse for the U.S. Open was $500,000.
Mhm.
Scotty won 3.1 million on Sunday.
Could you envision this? And then the second part is it was reinforced a little bit today when I was thinking about Bennett growing up to be a golfer, and then I saw in today's paper that you got
Bennett, Scotty's son.
yeah,
Yeah,
you got Sam Woods
yeah,
at Brook Hollow and Trinity Groves. They are having the U.S. Junior Championships. They started with qualifying rounds yesterday, and he shot 11 over, and the leader was 5 under, so he's got a way to go in that.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, and,
That's
and,
Charlie.
that Charlie, did
Yeah,
I
his
say
daughter's
Sam?
name's Sam.
Okay, Charlie, and Tiger's out there watching,
Yeah,
and I'm thinking back to the Open, and we saw a lot of press out of little Bennett running around, and you
yeah.
saw he had that little. It was looked like a hockey stick, but it was really
It was a
a
golf
golf
club.
club. They said, and I heard on an interview afterwards when he was talking about. He said, "I got." They're asking about family and whatnot. He says, "Well, I got a nephew who's just eaten up with golf, and he was over at my house, and all they want to do is hit balls in the net and use the putting green,
Mm-hmm.
and he's just eaten up with the game." And I'm thinking, and so Sammy sees this, Ben sees this, and he goes over and he picks up a club and he starts swinging the club just because he sees people. Daddy
Yeah,
hits balls. The cousins hitting balls.
yep.
This seems like a fun thing to do. Now I could see I, I could see our man Scotty walking away from the game at a point and saying, you know what, um, I've done it all, everything I want, and you know, now Bennett's off in college, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, we can travel. We want to go see him play
Yeah,
all these places, and we want to go to the junior amateur with him, and
right.
we want to go to the U.S. amateur, and he wants to do this. You know what? I'm going to give him the support system
Heck
that
yeah.
he needs. I
Yeah.
can see that happening.
Yeah, I think in some ways, although maybe it was a bit forced because of Tiger's physical challenges, but
Right.
he's actually doing that, as you just said, with
Exactly.
Charlie.
Exactly.
Whether or not he would be doing that if he were, in great health and could play around
And I
competitively, I
wish
don't
I'd have
know.
brought this with it. There in the article, it referenced about 5 other boys playing in this junior who've had a dad
Yeah,
currently on the tour,
right.
or so
Yeah, it is.
we see it in all our sports.
Yeah,
Kids of athletes are
Scotty.
following their
Exactly.
parent, that athlete.
Scottie Scheffler's 29, I believe, right now.
Okay,
So give Bennett another 20 years,
yeah,
or maybe less than that, because Charlie Woods isn't that
yeah,
old.
yeah,
Scotty will be in his 40s when he's at that point to
yeah. He'll be
choose.
off to college in
Yeah,
17.
yeah, yeah. It's a good point. All right, let's see here. BJ's Warehouse is coming to Waxahachie. Most of you know that. For the Waxahachie folks, we also got a Torchy's coming. We're hearing about a new gym coming. Sam's Club, which has been in the news lately, is looks like it's headed to Waxahachie. Want to just mention, many of us at my age grew up watching the Cosby Show. I didn't so much, although I saw it more than other sitcoms. And as we all know now, Jamal Warner, who played Cosby's son. I forget what his name was in that show, but drowned on Sunday in Costa Rica. Evidently, at 54 years old, he was
Hmm.
a strong wave. The reports are the strong wave just took him under, and he couldn't fight it back. Couldn't get back. He passed away. I want to mention. So those of you who haven't seen it, it was too vulgar for us to show on our air, or too many
Mm.
beeps. I mean, sometimes when you have a guy give an interview that all he does is swear, all you hear is beeping. I mean, what's the point of listening to a, a, a video with beeps constantly through it because they're beeping out somebody's vulgarity? But Hunter Biden has now been set. loose, if you will, like a rabid, bobcat or something. And he just on his first interview that was aired last night, uh, segments of it just is gone berserk. I mean, F this, F that, calling everybody in the book left and right, every name you could think of. And uh, I mean, I admire not a guy, but I admire the sentiment of taking up for your dad,
Right.
but not when your dad's, in my opinion, not when your dad is the equivalent of some crime boss leader at the top.
Remember
I-
when we did a section on dark woke,
yeah.
and I never really.
Well, you
Well,
saw
no,
that.
it's
Yeah.
so fun to have topics that you don't know about. You research them. I hope people listening saying, "Yeah, I didn't really know much about dark woke
Right.
either," and it's kind of an interesting thing. But this is like the epitome of
It is
dark
the
woke,
epitome.
right?
It's a very good point. We did have a segment on dark woke, and that is dark woke on the left is taking everything to a new, more
Dangerous
verbal,
low. Yeah.
violent, vulgar, also talking about violence from a tangible physical standpoint too, but certainly in the language, it's gotten just there are no holds barred anymore. It's Hunter Biden again. Almost every other word was the F bomb. And while I or we are no prudes here, there's you just have a normal conversation. And so when we see people like Jasmine the idiot Crockett calling Trump mofo and all this other stuff, that's dark woke, and it's counterproductive to what they're trying to achieve, and that is to be taken more seriously. Hunter Biden, they were talking around the interview from those talking heads that were watching it and that I was watching on TV that Hunter Biden is implying, um, uh, both implying and using kind of innuendo words to say that maybe he was going to run for president in 2028. I mean, the thought, if that were true, that even thinking about it with his history and with his background and with his mental capacity or incapacity, gives you a sense of how lost a guy is to believe that he could be he would be considered a viable candidate. Same thing applies to AOC and to Crockett and the others. I mean, there's a point at which you say we're talking about the president of the United States, not just any bum's going to be able to run for president of the United
Can
States.
you spell the word decorum,
Yeah.
much less live it?
Plus, I think there are some crimes that Hunter has committed that may preclude him or exclude him from being able to run. But anyway, if you haven't seen that interview of Hunter Biden, and there was more than one, but and he's going to have more than what he's already done. So watch it. You'll get a sense of what we're talking about here with respect to the Biden family, because as you know, the Bidens have always talked about how important family is to them and that sort of thing. And frankly, if I talked about how important my family is, and the members of my family then came out talking like they were the devil himself. I mean, I don't know what it says about the family I've created. Anyway, you ought to watch it. Last thing on our updates, I want to talk about Waxahachie City Council and what's going on there. As you know, we wrote had a story last week, and then wrote a column about my concerns about City Council in Waxahachie, and this could be applied to any city council in the country insofar as we ought to know what they're doing and what they're about. Um, I think Waxahachie's got some challenges with its city council. I think there is a very clear break in the five, that we got three who tend to vote together, and that is the mayor, Billy Wallace, Travis Smith, and Trace Atkins. And then you've got two, Patrick Suter and Chris Wright, who tend to vote similarly. And they're in some critical matters. There's a break there between the two. Of course, three will always win because it's the majority of the five. But I think there are some other issues going on that need to be addressed, certainly need to be watched. I write another column again tomorrow about power in this council and what's going on in their minds and their hearts and their actions. I know, Jeff, you have some things you want to add, but let me just say the last night was a council meeting. It was a 4-1, I'm sorry, a 3-1 vote last night because Patrick Suter is out, uh, a vote on City Hall. One of the reasons supposedly why there was a separation of employment with Michael Scott, former longtime city manager of Waxahachie, was because the City Hall renovations were 4.7 or 4.5, somewhere in that neighborhood, over budget. I made the argument, have made it, will continue to make it, that I don't believe there's a project in the world right now that whatever price they were quoted at the beginning, the price is going to be higher at the end, given tariffs and
Right. Right.
all sorts of things going on out there. So I think that's a bit shallow and hollow. I think there's another reason related to those renovations and the cost that maybe they aren't telling us as to why they wanted to uh, force Michael out. But what the vote last night was 3-1 to stop,
Right.
cold turkey, stop. I think cold turkey, but stop where they are with this developer and the work being done, and I guess readdress it. We'll learn more about that in the weeks to come. But
Yeah.
there is a column tomorrow, and then on the page one lead story tomorrow is a new story that Audrey wrote with, based on her long conversation with Councilman Chris Wright. So more to come on all of this. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I was mulling this over the weekend, and again, it's interesting the education this program has for me, and I hope for you folks also. All I knew at all about this was there was a column in our paper,
Yeah.
the Waxahachie and there was a column in the Daily Light, and
So it's a
you know,
story in the Daily Light.
a
Yeah.
story of the Daily
Yeah.
Light. You're not going to find this on
Yeah.
4, 5, 8, or 11 any of the local channels, and so um, pick up additional information from things that you've gleaned from talking to people, and I'm just mulling the whole thing over, and I was feeling so bad about the whole thing in so many ways, but um, here's here's where my thought process has gone because I was very vocal in the last show, and I still didn't like the way it was handled. But here's what I'm thinking now as I put all the pieces together. Number one, how long was this thing brewing? Here's the deal. When you repeatedly hear keep your resume
Fresh or
fresh,
updated. Yeah.
updated, that tells you that you're hearing from these people on the council that they're not happy. And all our conversations about open meeting acts and who talked to who and da 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 da. And then we suddenly pull off an executive session and the guy comes out and he's fired. I didn't like the way that played out, but I do think it was brewing for a while. And I think this Walmart deal was one of them. They talked about the fact that staff knew, but they didn't know, and they were butthurt about being kept out of that. And, this is on my list of things before I hear about this,
Hmm.
the city hall overruns. Okay. And so, I talked to somebody who said, that city hall, they don't run very well. Filing for permits is just ridiculous. It's
Hmm.
backed up. They got new systems. They're not running right. Bing, 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 bing.
Yeah.
All these things they're adding up. And then we talked last week. I had done some research. He's got one of the highest salaries around.
Hmm.
Holy smokes! It just keeps adding up. And then the whole talk about how he was treated. Was he fired? Does he resign? I did a little oh, before I talk about separation agreements, here's another thing. They talk about 7-year itch.
Hmm.
I look up the average terms of city managers. One source said 5 to 7 years. One source said 6 to 8 years.
Hmm.
Okay, you see where we're going here?
Hmm.
So there is a in between of firing and resigning called separation agreements, which are a common thing in city management contracts. And what happens is you're giving that person money in exchange for future waves against the city, any
Yeah.
claims.
Right.
You're trying to provide a smooth transition and you're trying to lessen the stigma of firing. Okay. So that all adds up to say, brew, 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 boom, enough, cut it off.
Hmm.
And we're using the separation agreement as our mechanism. And it's just like we talk about a guy in sports, young guy, and he signs a two-way contract. You know
Yeah.
how the two-way contract goes? You get one amount at the majors and one amount at the minors, and there's a big difference. And you may go back and forth
Right.
between the season. And so I hate the way it happened, but I think a separation agreement adds up and it's not really illegal and it does those things. And I'm feeling less bad.
Yeah. There was never a claim that it was illegal. the
Right.
issue I have, and as I expressed again in tomorrow's column, is that the mayor of Waxahachie has said and has done nothing to clarify it publicly
Right.
that Michael Scott resigned.
Oh,
That is
I
simply
still hate all that. I
that is
still hate all that.
that is a lie.
Yeah.
Was he fired? Uh, he wasn't fired, but at the same time, to say forced, coerced, pressured out, absolutely. I think you'll find it interesting in our story tomorrow. The news story with Councilman Wright is that Councilman Wright, he's in the belly of the beast. He's going to tell you exactly what happened. So the argument I have again is if this weren't a forcing, a coercion, a pressure, then and Michael Scott didn't want to go anywhere, why isn't he still there?
Right.
So
So
it is so the legality. I mean, I've left companies, big corporate companies, uh, voluntarily, even when I've resigned, and in some cases I already had an NDA or an agreement that I signed before I ever took the job. And in some cases, I left one paper under not very pleasant circumstances because I essentially was a whistleblower, and I had a separation agreement whereby I was continued to be paid for a period of time,
mhm.
but that I gave up any claims that I might have taken against them, any hard words, negative things. So, and that happens. But in this case, I think there's more to the story, and in an attempt to be too clever for their own good, it got away from them.
It did. Yeah.
And so I think that speaks to the maturity or immaturity of council. Here's the other thing I'll say about this I'm not sorry, city hall issue or any matter on council. There are people in this city, like in most cities, because of their experiences, because of their affinities, because of their uh, upbringing, that know a lot about city inner workings. There are people who are experts in infrastructure,
Yeah.
people in terms of permits and all that other stuff. They understand how all that
Yeah.
works. But by and large, when we elect people for city council,
Mhm.
I remember a guy 10 years ago ran for city council, and in a forum we used to do with KBEC, he got up there and was opening statement. He said, "I really don't know what I'm doing, but I think I want to run and make a difference." Well, when you're on city council and you're only one of five, and a developer standing in front of you explaining things that probably a decent number could be one or two or three of those council members have no clue what he's talking about. They're
Right.
not experts on any. I mean, they're experts on where they come from and what their careers are. But when I look at a city being managed by five people who have no specific training to be council people, they might know how to run a seafood restaurant, or they might know how to be a cop, or they might know how to be a lawyer or whatever. But there are certain things going to be presented to them that they don't know anything about. And so when we as a council, or when we see a council exercise its belligerence, its intimidation, its bully, its berating of people from other very important industries who are
Right.
trying to fulfill an agreement, that's where I start losing track. And that, as far as a newspaper, we have to say something about. So everything that you said is spot on. My concern is that the way that it was all handled.
Which I
Yeah.
prefaced all those comments by that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll have more tomorrow, and then we'll see where this all goes. All right. So that was a long update, wasn't it? All right. Let's
Well,
talk about the one and only, as Rush used to say, Barack Hussein Obama.
the second.
Oh, is he a second? I don't know. I never saw him say
When I
second.
looked
Maybe he
at
is.
when I looked that up, and I'm going the
I
second.
didn't know he was a second.
Somebody else already had that.
I
Well,
don't think so. Maybe I'm
you
wrong.
don't think so,
No, I don't. Yeah,
Sam?
Chuck says, I'm sure there's more to this
Barack
council meeting.
Hussein Obama the second,
City
please.
councils, county business may claim transparency, but once you get an executive session, it's a different story. Yeah, I mean it's
Yeah.
executive session, and we're not allowed to know what goes on in there. So um, that doesn't mean that we don't from time to time, because
Right.
I know a sitting city council member that was texting someone one time while in executive session about what was going on in executive session. And if we wanted to blast that, we could have, but we chose not to at that
Sam's
time.
confirming
He is a second.
yes,
Wow, cool. So Barack Hussein Obama, number 2, Junior,
Junior.
is I think, and I've never liked the guy. So when he came on the scene, sure, he was Mr. Joe Cool. In his acceptance speech, remember in Chicago, he said something along the lines, "We're gonna calm the seas, so to speak, and set the axis right with the weather and the earth and whatever else he was talking about." And I may be adding
Yeah.
to that, but the essence was that he was the Messiah. That's where he got a lot of people. A lot of people coined that term or phrase for him because he talked like that often. And this is a guy who was a state senator running for president of the United States. State senator in Chicago, one of the most corrupt political cities in America. And so he ran for president. He won.
He had no job in between there?
Uh-uh. Now well, I don't know about in between there, but he was also a constitutional professor supposedly at whatever.
Was he not a senator from
That's
Illinois
what
also?
yeah, state senator. That's what I was saying. He was a state senator at the time.
I'm talking about in Congress.
That's what I mean. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
He went from state senator to a United States senator,
Okay, thank
and
you.
then
Yeah.
my bad, I skipped the U.S. part. But
That's a big jump from state
it
senate
is.
to
It
president.
is, and I don't. It is a big jump. I don't know how long he was U.S. senator before he became president. But the point I'm making is that for half of America, more than half, because he won 2 elections, people loved him then. They thought he was truly what America needed. And in some ways, even though I didn't like him, I was willing to say maybe to get to calibrate America with respect to racism or race in any unnecessary way to put that aside by having if it meant putting it aside uh required us to elect a black president, the first ever, then I was hopeful that it would help us, but it didn't. It only got worse.
However, it was so disingenuous to call him the first black president. We repeated the same thing with Kamala. He
He has
had a
a
white
white
mother.
mother. True.
Okay. So you know what? America is getting so biracial
Yeah.
that he, you can't pick up a newspaper, a magazine, watch TV where you don't see an ad
Hmm.
of a mixed race
Yeah, you're right.
couple. And that's where we're going.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and why do so many people in that circumstance pick, you could say, I'm black or I'm biracial, and they pick the black.
Well, someone smarter than me will have to tell me why. I mean, obviously it's genetics, but most biracial people that we know
They'll never claim white ever.
they're not white. Their skin color
They're not
is
white.
usually darker.
It's caramel color. It's
Yeah,
obvious
I
that
mean,
yeah,
what's that? I think the term mulatto.
mulatto.
Uh, so yeah, we don't say he was our first mulatto president, because he probably wasn't.
I had a redheaded mother, a redheaded father, and a black-haired mother, and all of us turned out darkish.
Yeah,
And then the next generation, we got all these redheads in the
yeah,
next
interesting.
generation. So you don't know what you're gonna get. But
Yeah,
I tell you what,
yeah,
when
but I mean, it's an interesting topic to discuss because why do we call biracial people most of the time we refer to them as black
right,
because particularly those that have darker skin. Although Kamala Harris didn't have her skin wasn't that dark, but she was still also referred to as the first black woman vice president.
right.
Um, Now, if
And
Barack,
sometimes when it was convenient, she was referred to as the first Southeast Asian
yeah,
president. It's a what,
if Barack
who you
Obama
stroking today?
was white in skin color or
It-
pale, whatever we call him, w- what we wouldn't have I guess we wouldn't have referred to him as the first black president because we wouldn't have looked at him and naturally associated
right.
like word association we wouldn't have said he's black. But anyway, he came on the scene as again, what Rush used to say is ordained as the Messiah
Yeah.
and was going to cure the world's ills, certainly America's ills, and it only got worse. And now, as time goes on, like with any legacy, legacies aren't just established immediately upon somebody leaving office. They are established after a period of time in which and through which we were able to learn more about them. So now we get to a place, 2008 to 2025, 17 years later. Obama is now in the news because, as most of us know, Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence, uh, submitted a criminal referral to the DOJ to look into Obama in terms of creating this whole Russian hoax that the country has endured for
Mm-hmm.
10 years now.
Yeah.
And it's taken its toll. And we still got idiot people in Congress and the Senate who parrot this nonsense, and people like Adam Schiff and others. Uh, I think they probably met their match with respect to a man who's not going to take it anymore. He's already sued a couple of media companies. He's going to sue more people for the things that they've said. But Obama and Susan Rice, um, Brennan, the CIA guy, Hopper, I think is that his name. Uh, uh, at these intelligence people are all on the hook now for defending themselves against what appears to be empirical proof that they in fact concocted this whole Russia story.
I was laughing at the correction in this morning's paper talking about that they had mistakenly reported Trump's lawsuit regarding
Yeah,
this media deal. They just reported it at um was it 10 or 50 billion?
10 billion.
They reported it at 10 million
Oh,
instead of 10 billion.
yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah.
these lawsuits, you can throw any
Yeah.
number out there. But Trump just won the CBS lawsuit, which I think was for a whole lot more than
And he's doing something
16
kind of
million.
nice with that money too.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember what it is, but he is. I mean, so we have
Something about
Obama.
maybe the presidential library
Oh, that's what it is.
and a foundation
I
or
think
something.
so. Yeah.
It's all
So you got Obama
self gratification, but
who's
that's all right.
now going to be, I think, exposed. I hope he's exposed. If it's true, I hope he's exposed fully for being uh behind the scenes, although President of the United States, behind the scenes manipulating the American people uh as Donald Trump was entering his first term in office in 2016, late 16. So I don't have any use for Barack Obama. I saw an interview with him the other night on his wife's podcast.
Well, Joe Biden had plenty of use for him.
Yeah, well, I guess so. But the other night they were on this podcast, and he was claiming that to be more of a man, you need to have a gay friends. Um, you need to go to ballets and operas and things of that nature. And I'm thinking, what? If I saw the
Joe Biden is saying that's
no,
what you need.
no, Barack Obama is
I mean,
saying that.
Barack Obama saying,
Yeah, on his wife's podcast, which we're doing a podcast. It ain't the easiest thing in the world to do, and not everybody's going to like it. But I guarantee you, if we're reaching a decent audience in Texas, and you and I come on here and said the way to be more of a man is to have gay friends and to go to the ballet and to you know eat more of this and eat more of that, we'd be run out of town. We'd be laughed at hysterically. We'd laugh at ourselves if if well, we would never do that because we don't believe that. But the idea that Obama, I mean, with respect to Kamala Harris's campaign, he came out supposedly in support of her and went on these little speaking tours. And I remember seeing him in one interview where he was pointing at the crowd. She was speaking, Kamala was speaking, Barack was standing here. He was pointing at the crowd, and he would point that way, and then he would point at her, like, you are to vote for her. And so the idea was for him to peddle his influence or use his influence to get votes for her, and she got shellacked. So there was already this wave of Barack Obama. You hear from him referred to now by some as being, they don't want him to be associated with Barack Obama. They don't want anything on the left. They don't want anything to do with him anymore. They don't want him campaigning for them. And that's what happens. And so I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens to Barack Obama. Sammy, if you'll get that Glenn Beck interview ready real quick. I
Well,
want
I
you
was
guys
looking
to
for
hear
that.
this.
The thing about rags to riches is you leave those rags behind.
Yeah,
You don't even remember them.
yeah,
You
you're
don't
right.
you don't act like that had any bearing on what you became.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Mm.
This is Glenn Beck. I think this is maybe a minute, a little over a minute long. I'll have Sammy cut it off if it's too long. Minute 30. I want you to hear this. This is Glenn Beck of The Blaze explaining some things about what's being found out about Obama. Go ahead, Sam.
Russia hoax wasn't a misunderstanding. It wasn't just political bias. It wasn't even weaponizing the government. It was treasonous conspiracy. It was a president, along with others, conspiring to take down a presidency, working together in coordination, and using the press to push it all out. Now, Tulsi was on Maria Bartiromo yesterday. She said, I can't fathom how Mueller and Durham missed any of this. They didn't miss it, and she knows that. She said that. They chose not to follow the evidence. The whole machine, from the press to the prosecutors, geared not towards justice, but protection of the narrative. And at the center of that narrative, Gabbard says, is Barack Obama himself. He didn't just know, he orchestrated the shift. From no cyber manipulation to the Russians stole the election. Remember Hillary Clinton on television saying he stole the election? How many times did you hear that? He stole the election. How did he steal it? He stole it with Russia. From truth to story. She's releasing more documents, maybe as early as today. Now, this isn't Watergate, because that was petty. That was a burglary, and there was nothing big in that. It could have been a setup by the same kind of people in the CIA to get rid of a president and perform a coup on a president. We don't know for sure.
Yeah, so Glenn Beck, who's been at this a long, long time, and I believe knows his stuff, is said it right there. I mean, I said his name was Hopper a minute ago. I meant Clapper. You got Clapper, Brennan, Obama, Rice, Mueller, Comey. All these people were participating in something that the American people have been put through a lie and subversion of the American people's will. So we'll see where this goes. Tulsi Gabbard, you just heard Glenn Beck say it, that it's treasonous. Uh, in my lifetime, I don't think I've seen anybody be charged with treason. You know what happens when you're charged with convicted of treason? Jeff, do you know what happens to them? Death penalty.
Execution. Yeah.
Death penalty.
Yeah.
So we'll see where this goes, but I think again, it goes to why we do not, because like with somebody like Obama, because they claim to be something they aren't, uh, we do not immediately establish or agree that their legacy is good or bad. I believe we'll find people that will live long after we've all gone. We'll look back on Trump and say one of the greatest presidents in the country. Right now, I say that people will laugh at me. Some will want to hit me. But the legacy of Obama is unfolding before our very eyes, just as it is with Biden. All right. So there you have it. I've got my random thoughts. What time is it? 12:44.
When you get 'em- when you get 'em in.
Okay, I'm gonna get them in. I'll say them fast. Only those who do not seek power are qualified to hold it. That's a quote by Plato. It's the lead in my column tomorrow. Again, only those who do not seek power are qualified to hold it.
Those who do not
So if
seek
you don't, it's only though. Another way of saying is that those who seek power just to have power are
Right.
those who aren't qualified to
Right.
have it. Being a jerk to others is a cry for help. So is a bad haircut. So when I see people mistreat other people
Yeah.
in a just a humane sense, there's a cry for help. People don't do that unless they've got something wrong with them. That's not how we were made.
Yeah.
Stephen Colbert was never funny, if you ask me. Bama will win the Natty this year. You heard it right here. One day before your birthday, Dad said Alabama Crimson Tide will win the national championship in football.
I can
Got
get
it?
behind it.
Got it?
I can get behind it.
We got to admire his um
Audacity. Oh,
dedication and love to a school that is not even officially your alma mater
no, it's
and
not.
is not even at
My
all your
adopted my alma mater.
adopted one.
No.
You cannot forget SMU. They're gonna make it to the playoffs
Well,
again.
I'll give you that. But remember, on August the 29th, I've already told Sonia I'm very sick that day and will have to be in bed all
Best
day
day of the
because
year.
at 11 a.m., Texas plays Ohio State in Columbus, Ohio. At 2:30 in the afternoon, Bama plays Florida State in Florida.
Boy, that's a
And
dose of college football that day.
oh, it's not over
It's
Oh
yet.
not
my God,
over.
what
At
else?
6 o'clock or 7 o'clock that night, LSU goes to Clemson to play Clemson. And then you got games,
All over the country.
Oh
but those
man,
three right there, that's what 7 hours,
You
8 hours
you
of
get some
football.
big early games, and then you get the powers playing against the little sisters of the
Yeah,
poor
yeah.
because they're padding
Yeah,
their
but anymore, it used to be the powerhouses never would play any big team
right.
out of the gate. But when you got Texas and Ohio State playing immediately,
that's August 29th.
uh-huh,
August.
first game of the year.
Oh my gosh, I didn't
Bama's
know
first
that.
game is against Florida State. That's not that big of a leap, but
Oh
LSU
wow.
Clemson first game of the year. So
Cle-
these teams are
oh,
saying we're going to know right away whether we're in the hunt or whether we're not.
Clemson has a legit chance to win
Yeah,
it all, like they do.
yeah. So anyway, Bama will win the Natty this year. And last one, in today's world, people struggle to separate fact from opinion. I've experienced that just every time I write a column. And Sammy, by the way, at the top of my column when we post it on Facebook, put opinion column. So I'll tell you, like we did last, I added it because people
Okay.
kept saying last week, well, you're not supposed to be biased in a story. You're not. And I'm like, this is a column. Yeah, I had to because those things. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just trying to explain the difference. I don't respond to one of the city council members' wives is went after me the other day on a post, and I'm like, I don't, what a one of my. I get that she's defending her husband and that she's angry. I'm not gonna begrudge her of that. If I came out and on the show and said Jeff was every name in the book, Rita would hunt me down probably. I'd never do that. But and Sonia, when she sees people say ugly things about me, she's only responded once when we
Don't you
first
love it?
opened.
Don't you love it when spouses stand up for their
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying
their, their
I wasn't going to go on and bash
yeah.
the spouse. So anyway, there you have it. All right, I think we are at poem time. What you
Home
got,
time.
Jeffrey?
I got a little poem here. I took my dog out this morning for a walk. Now that's the only time to do it, and I really take a bunch of water with me in my little collapsible bowl. And
Yeah,
seriously, we'll go on about a 40-minute walk, and she'll drink about a liter.
yeah,
I've got that much, and I give it to her, and I stop. And um, she's such a sweet girl. And today, and then a day ago when I was walking, saw some people I know in the neighborhood. I wanted to chat, and I just said, and Layla, her only problem is loving people so
yeah.
much. And when they
Right.
come in the door and they're just all over, but now it's like a little bit more of a controlled situation. They're not coming to us. I said, Leah, we're we're gonna stop and talk to Larry. And we go up there, and she sits down next to me,
Nice.
and we talk. And today with Jim East, I'm going.
Cool.
This dog has come so far from the
When you
dog.
walk her, do you walk her on the pavement or is
I
she?
do walk around the pavement of the sidewalk,
Yeah,
and then she's got the option to go to the grass
but she doesn't.
anytime,
Hmm.
and she doesn't. Now, if it's very, very hot, she kind of knows to do that. But I
Yeah,
just anyway.
yeah.
So I was just so proud.
That's
You
awesome.
know, we're an elderly couple, right? Whatever. We're in our 70s, and all our kids are grown, and so she is our baby, and
Yeah.
we treat her like our baby, and
Amen.
and I enjoy being proud of her. And it reminds me that I wrote this poem on February 7th in 2002, and she's 7 months old.
2000 when?
In 2022, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
that's all right.
So she was 7 months old, and now she's 4 years and a month.
Yeah.
Okay, and how far she's come. That I would write a poem. I, I was I was ready to get rid of her. I was just so
Yeah.
disgusted. It's called Too Much is Too Much. Enough is too much, and enough is enough, and too much is too much. My grandmother Nellie did say. Buried for 62 years and still apt today. The enough part brings me to the tough part. I lost it today over a puppy misplay. See, our sweet hound Layla has become a digger, and my darling bride is a big forgiver. Judging by the size of each hole, our precious digger digs with vigor. Fixing the damage is taking its toll. The fix is the easy part. It's curbing my anger that pulls at my heart. My wife says dogs are like us. We all have our traits. But why does this dog have a trait that I hate? Does her boundless love make up for the digs? Is her digging up holes an issue that's big? First world issues, as one brother often does describe. Yes, my dog troubles are a minor issue. Glad I don't live in a starving tribe. This pet has her shortcomings. I surely do too. But expecting perfection is what we can't do.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that it takes a special person to own a dog,
No.
because dogs are such a blessing. But you do, particularly with puppies, you have to be patient. And I don't, one of our dogs, EJ, the little Corky
Mhm.
Chihuahua, when he gets excited, he'll pee a little bit, and
Yeah.
so it's either going to get on your leg, on the floor, whatever. And when I was, in my 20s, I'd have been like, golly, stop doing it. And now
Yeah.
Sonia and I just, we love them for what they do and what they
Well,
don't do. And
and I appreciate your tolerance there because I'm not tolerant in that direction. And she
yeah,
is.
yeah,
You can put her to bed and she'll be out for 12 hours and you get up and she's more interested in eating breakfast than she is going out to
yeah.
take.
Interesting. Anyway, that was an excellent point. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
sharing it.
Glad you liked it.
I
Uh,
skipped something
what
here.
we got?
Who'd you have winning the Open, Sammy? You remember?
The dude from SMU.
It's just Shambo, who shot third. No, he shot 7 over. Yeah, seven
Is that
over
good?
on Thursday,
Oh,
and then made up 13 strokes
Yeah.
the next day and finished like 7th or 10th or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
It was an incredible performance.
It
Who'd
really
you
was.
have?
I had Shane Lowry.
Shane
Who,
Lowry, and
who
he was all right for a
he,
while. Did he make the cut?
yeah, he was in the top 10.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I had McIntyre. I think he was like 4th or 5th, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And then we didn't talk about
Uh,
the infamous Coldplay video. We'll talk about that next time. But I do want to ask before we get to our day in history, Cowboys record, Sammy, for
um,
2025. What are you projecting?
I don't know. I think they'll win 12 games. I don't know what that goes
That would
to.
be 12-5.
12,
They
12 and
play
5.
17 games.
Yeah.
Not many people are taking that 12-5. The highest I've heard is 10-7. 10-7 would probably get you a wild card. I'd be
Yeah.
Yeah,
happy
it will.
with the 10-7.
What do you think? Are you going with 10-7?
They got a tough schedule.
Oh, I don't know
I
their
looked at
schedule.
it.
They got a tough schedule.
I looked at it in
And they
earnest.
and they got the Chiefs here on Thanksgiving Day, and that's the day that it's worth it to own my tickets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So,
Uh,
what's the record you're going with?
9-8.
I got 13-4.
Hey.
Wow.
Preach it, Daddy,
Wow.
preach it.
Hey,
All right.
back to our Open. In our conversation the other day about it being called the Open and not the British Open, and then the TV calls it the Open, and on Sirius Radio it's the Open, and all responsible media calls it the Open. But the mighty Associated Press, who you know how fond I am of them,
Done.
and here's our front page paper of the Monday. Here's little Bennett and Scott
Yeah.
looking at
And
them.
they
But what do
call
they
it
call it?
what?
British Open. And then you get to the inside, and at the top, it's British Open. And who wrote the article? Well, it's the Associated
Yeah,
Press.
chuck
You
it.
can keep 'em.
It's the open, people. All right, let's do our this day in history.
Okay, here we go. What do we
How many
got?
do we have today?
We got 8 today, and I went 8-2. I had a
Nice.
couple of bonuses.
All right.
I'm going to talk you into a bonus on the last one. If you don't get it, we're quitting this show.
Okay.
We're quitting this segment. Here we go. Aviator Wiley Post landed at Floyd Bennett Field in New York City, completing the first solo flight around the world in 7 days, 13 hours, and 49 minutes.
That's that woman, right?
That's Amelia Earhart you're
That's
thinking.
Amelia Earhart.
1919.
1913.
1919.
1933.
Okay.
First, I wish I'd brought it in. Yesterday's paper had one about the guy that had the first There's a crazy name for it, for circumnavigating the globe strictly under manual power.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And
Yeah.
he took a rowboat across oceans. He took bicycles. He hiked. What am I leaving out?
As
It
my
took him
as
5 years
as
and
my dad would
11
say, if I
days.
had an urge like that, I'd sit down and let it wear off.
I like it. Banker John Dillinger was shot to death by federal agents outside Chicago's Biograph Theater, where he had just seen the Gable movie Manhattan Melodrama,
1939.
1949.
1934.
Dang it. We went up
Okay.
1 year.
We may I said that earlier. I said that myself, and just keep remember. I'm going to give you a
Okay.
clue. Keep remembering what you just said. Here we go. The U.S. Senate rejected President Franklin D. Roosevelt's proposal to add more justices to the Supreme Court. He was trying to pack the court back then.
1945.
1943.
You weren't listening to what I said. We're still crawling through the 30s. 37.
Oh my gosh.
Listen to my clues when
45.
I give them
Oh,
to
I
you,
missed
Sam.
it.
Did I miss it?
Dadgum- Yeah.
Dang it.
I
No,
get,
you got it. What'd you say?
43.
You got it.
I got it.
I thought
Okay.
you said 49.
No, he said 49. That's the one before.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. The Nazis began transporting Jews from the Warsaw Ghetto to the Treblinka concentration camp.
1946.
I thought it was in the 30s. 47.
42.
Okay.
Okay.
The, the war was over. They weren't transporting them. Okay.
Yeah.
American forces led by General George S. Patton captured Palermo, Sicily during World War II.
What was the one before the year?
We're coming off of 42.
45.
44.
43. The U.S. House of Representatives joined the Senate in voting to restore the American citizenship of Confederate General Robert E. Lee. I don't remember that happening.
Me
It
either.
wouldn't have happened at a certain point in history. You know that.
It seemed
1954.
1951.
75.
Oh, wow.
All right, there's the jump.
There's the jump.
Okay.
Here we go. You got 2 more to get to
All right.
2025. Here we go. Police in Milwaukee arrested Jeffrey Dahmer,
Yeesh.
who later confessed to murdering 17 men and boys.
What was the last date?
75.
75,
79.
97.
91.
Oh, I got it.
And,
Okay,
and
cool.
help me if I've got him
91.
confused.
Wow.
Did he cut him up and
Cannibal.
put him in the freezer and eat him
Yeah.
for TV?
I watched a documentary on that. It's
Yeah.
brutal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, pay attention, please. Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar escaped from his luxury prison near Medellin. He was slain by security forces in 93. What year did he escape from prison? And in December of 93, he was slain. When did he escape?
Oh my gosh. 1994?
No.
He was slain in
2019. I don't know.
92.
Oh.
He was slain in December of 93. He escaped,
Well, how would if he was slain? That means killed.
killed, and he was slain in 92.
No, no.
He escaped. He escaped in 92.
So I got it.
He
right?
escaped in 92.
I'm
got it.
counting it based on the way you asked the question.
I got it.
All right. So I was 4
I got
and
the
4.
bonus. I don't know
That's
about
it?
you
That's
guys.
good.
I
We
got
didn't
the
have
bonus.
anybody close to
8 and 2. What'd you finish with?
I'm 4 and 4.
4 and 4.
All right. I've got a new book called True Facts That Sound Like. It says BS, the word BS, so I won't say that, but I'm a sucker for cool things, funny things on TikTok. So I have no idea when this book was written. It was written by Shane Carley, but it is again, True Facts That Sound Like BS.
Did you
And
get it off
so
the TikTok shop?
I'm gonna give I'm going to give us one each show. All right, ready? We're going to close with this
Oh,
one.
I was gonna say that'd be you
This-
could use those for your 5 thoughts every
So here
week.
you go. The leading role in Forrest Gump was originally offered to John Travolta. That's a movie I have never seen. Isn't that something?
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump.
Oh, that's a
I know
fact.
people laugh at me.
It was
Yeah, that's a fact.
Hanks, Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
It's Tom Hanks.
So anyway, that's our show for
Tom
today.
could have done
Again,
it.
Tuesdays and Thursdays, noon to 1. We will not be having either show next week. Jeff is out of town, and I am involved in some things that are taking up, coincidentally, which is a good thing, taking up some time that will take me away from the office and the studio. So we will not have a show next week. We'll be back on Tuesday, 2 weeks from today, and look forward to having you here. You can get all of our content on substack.com. Under Grit and Good News, you'll find lots of content there, not just this show, but including this show, but along with a bunch of other stuff that we enjoy putting out there. So,
And boy, I wrote a doozy
column for
for this Friday.
Yeah, so Friday, every Monday and Friday, you'll get an email early in the morning that says, here's Grit and Good News content, and you'll see everything listed there. Kind of a newsletter, but we ask you to join. It's $5 a month. So thank you.
Make it a great day and put a smile on somebody's face.
Booyah.